My name is Alex Nichols, and I am pleased to welcome everyone here at Troop 180's Eagle Court of Honor to recognize Connor Fitzpatrick. I have been one of Connor's great friends since 5th grade when I first moved here, and have been with him almost most of his Boy Scout career. Now, if you please stand and for the posting of the color, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the Scout Oath.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, hold. Prepare to post the colors. Color guard, post the colors. Scout salute.
Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Scout sign.
Please follow me in the scout oath.
I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong and mentally awake and morally straight.
2.
Scout signs. Please follow me in the scout law.
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2. Color guard, reform. Color guard, return to post. Color guard, hold. Color guard dismissed. I am being seated.
All right, thank you. As you all are being seated, I would like to invite our first speakers, Tony Sutton and Jeremy Fitzpatrick. Jeremy has been with Connor since the very beginning in Cub Scouts. He was his first packmaster and leader in Scouts. Jeremy, I invite you to give you.
Y'all look great. I just gotta say, y'all look great. So Connor asked me to talk about memories and stuff, and I started thinking back on memories of Connor, and he joined in 2008, and he was happy, he was joyful, he was just one of the sweetest little guys. Always wanted to sing, uniform always up to par, and never argued. So those were the good memories. And then I started thinking a little deeper, because I know Connor better than that. I know Connor more as a friend now. He became friends with RJ, best friends with RJ, a lot of sleepovers and whatnot. So I got to know Connor a little better than that. And scouting wasn't the easiest thing for Connor. He had some struggles through the scouting program. And so I started thinking about the memories I have of what those struggles were. And, is that me? I'm sorry, y'all. And I started thinking back about what memories I have of Connor as he moved into Boy Scouts. And his family was really active during Cub Scouts. So he was so used to that, so used to it being a family thing. And all of a sudden he was homesick. And we went through some really homesick times with Connor. And he was heartbroken. Every time we started an adventure, he was heartbroken. But he didn't stop. That didn't stop him from going. He kept going. He never backed down. He got through that that homesick, and we had some long nights of him missing family and whatnot. And a couple times we got some bad news while we were gone. And that made it even worse. I mean, at some point he could have just said, "I'm done. I don't want to go." But he didn't. He didn't back down. And the other thing that Connor had to overcome, and I don't want to pick on him or anything, but he wasn't the best outdoorsman. He really wasn't. He makes a lot of things in life look easy. His academics, his gymnastics, stuff like that. It made it look easy. And maybe it didn't look easy to other people outside, but I knew him a little better, and I knew that some of these skills he was struggling with. I can think back on the Saba River trip. A nice calm river, and him and me were boat mates, and of course first ones to flip our book. And then later that day, we were coming to the bank, and Connor looked like George Washington standing up, getting ready to grab the bank, and flips head first. Horrible first day, but it didn't ruin the trip. He got over it. He bucked up and manned for the rest of the trip. Never backed down. Never backed down. And you know that when I was Cub Master to you boys, I talked about a magic word, and I remember Connor looking at me when I'm talking about that magic word. His big beady eyes just watching me and taking in every word of the story. You know, I think he's a shining example. He got him all to get this far. Overall, there's hurdles, there's silent hurdles, and he never really stressed anyone else about him. But congratulations.
Something sudden that he has been with Connor since Bear Scouts and his entire Boy Scout career. He traveled with him all during the prep hikes leading up to Philmont and has prepared and taught Connor many things.
Thank you, Alex. You know, when Connor, he first came to me about 5-6 weeks ago and said, would you speak for me on my behalf? And I said, I guess that means you want me to come up here and tell you good stuff about you, right, Connor? And he has that infectious grin about him that you just fall in love with. And that little chuckle in your voice, I said, sure. I said, I hope you'd say some good stuff about me. And you know, when you're thinking about it, you really can't, I can't think of anything bad to say about Connor, because I mean, all my memories with this young man has been good. Now, Tommy and Leanne may, you know, they might get a shed a light on something like that maybe he's goofy or something, but, you know, I mean, it's hard to believe. Connor, it's been 8 years since our first camp out together. He was a wolf, he was a bear. Remember where it was? The Logan Hope. We got to sit up right beside the bathrooms. And that was great because that's only 10-foot walk to the bathroom groups. From Pinewood Derbies, Rainbow Regattas, and the Cubs. I mean, it goes, I mean, if I had 2 weeks, I could sit here and talk to you and maybe scratch the surface of the memories I have with Connor. It's been a great experience. And I want to stop right now and thank God for my having the privilege of being a part of a program that means so much to the youth of this country. And I've seen so many guys come through. And Jonas and all right on down, and now Connor, it's your turn and you're deserving. And I told Connor, he asked me, he said, so you're going to start writing a speech? I said, nope. I said, I don't want to write a speech because I don't want it to sound stupid. And if I'm looking down at the paper, I'm not looking at the crowd. I want it to come from right here, and that's where it's going to come from. And I also told him it wasn't going to take a whole lot of time because I'm not one to stand up and speak forever. But there was one day last year that I found out what that young man was made out of. Tommy and Leanne, y'all should be proud of this guy. He's made out some good stuff. Chris, Steve, you guys that were with us, you know the day I'm going to talk about. Day number 2, Damascus, Virginia, on the Appalachian Trail. We started off at Massey's Gap, and I didn't think it was going to be on Massey's Gap that night because the wind was so violent. I thought we were going to find us tumbling down the hill somewhere and be not near Massey's Gap because the wind was so strong. We started off, we were at 5,600, 5,700, somewhere between there of elevation. And that morning, Steve and Chris checked the weather app, and we were figuring we needed to be down about 4,200 elevation to get out of the snow. Yeah, on our trip out, of course, we stopped at Buzzard Rock, which was pretty cool. But that's where somebody twisted an ankle on a rock and tweaked his knee and found out he was carrying 27 pounds of water. I ain't gonna mention no names, Tony. So even the leaders can goof. But by the time we got to lunch, we knew at that point in time we were facing a long day, because as checking the weather app then, we knew we had to be down at 4,000 foot of elevation to be below the snow. And we done did snow once. We did it for Shelatoy and Red River Gorge. We hiked in 6 inches of snow, probably some places higher than that in some of the drifts. Crossed 2 frozen logs because the creeks were raging so bad we couldn't cross them. But at any rate, we knew we were in for a long day. We were expecting, 21.5 miles, somewhere in that range, because by markers and them trail markers are not always exactly what they always say they are. Sometimes we find out they're a little bit longer. But at any rate, we got to a point there about an hour and a half, and that young man had already been out of water, completely out of water. And he looked like a ghost. If I've ever seen a zombie, that was a zombie that day. He was gone, but we were all done. I mean, we were 16.5 miles in of a 21.5 mile day, 22 mile day. And we took a mandatory drop your packs. Generally, we don't do that because we needed to move along. And Chris got Connor some of those gummies that have the electrolytes in them. We all looked at our water supplies and seen what we could share, and everybody had mandatory. If you had something to eat, you need to take it on, because on that day, I guarantee you, we burnt probably 6,500 calories, easy. And then we also knew by the time we got up that the rain was supposed to start in about an hour. Well, no. As soon as we got up, it started raining. And it rained on us for the next 3 hours. And we were hoping, of course, that rain kind of killed our purpose. We were meant to get to a shelter in time. But, of course, once the rain started, those that were on the trail in front of us, they got the shelter. So, here's the thing that amazed me with this young man. We sent him out first. Said, okay, Connor, you lead. We're gonna follow you. No one passes Connor Fitzpatrick. No problem. Because that kid right there put on about 2.5 mile an hour pace. I'm thinking, slow down, Connor, I can't keep up. I got him and Ryan in front of me, and I'm thinking, good gravy, where'd this come from? And then we get to this location. And driving rain. I mean, it poured, coming out of a boot. And then we have to set up camp in the rain. I'm sitting there, I'm so delirious, I don't even know where I'm at. Steve and Chris have pulled the tarp, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at my tent, and Steve looks at me and said, Tony, the brown tarp goes down first. And I had no idea. I couldn't tell you white from brown, from blue to green, or anything. So Steve handed me the tarp, and he set my tent up, because I had no idea where I was at. I was just delirious. I was done. My tank was empty. And yet, after all that, he was cooking our dinner. Almost burnt down the dining flag. We're not going to mention that. Did I say that? I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud. But to see him the next day, and that evening, I mean, I tried myself in being able to pace myself. And I was done. I was literally laying in the dining fly. I was in a ball. And they kept asking, is Tony all right? Is he all right? Because I wasn't moving, I wasn't speaking. I just knew that I didn't want to go to bed without eating. And I could have easily laid down after we got the tent set up. But I didn't want to. Because I knew I burnt that many calories. And then to see this young man the next day, which I think our next day was like 8.3 miles, but it was just as hard as the day before, because we put so much out on that 21, 22 mile day. But we did 8.3 miles straight up the hill, all the way. And to see his excitement, his smile on his face, reading the writings of the privy walls, and sharing that with us, and seeing him be excited. That's what this program is about. These boys being excited. And I want to thank all of y'all that have come here. I want to thank you boys, the Red Scouts, you've made to me, you've made the decision that you want to make this world a better place. And I want to thank all the leaders and all the people behind the scenes, the Chris's and those Tina's. Thank y'all. And I especially want to thank the parents. You people that bring these kids to these meetings, that's so important. Because when you support your children, they know that. They know it's for real. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm done. Way to go, Mike.
Now it's time for the lighting of the candles. This is the voice of the eagle whose heights you struggled hard to reach. You remember well when you first came to the base of the cliff, and how you looked up with ambition and determination. Look back for a moment. Look back over the cliff you've climbed. Look back at the experience you've encountered on your ascent. These experiences you should not have forgotten, and you should profit by making sure that the adverse ones do not occur again. Experience is a valuable teacher if you heed its teachings. We remember when you first took your first step upon the trail and that leads up. With your first step, you began to start living the scout oath and the law and became a scout.
All the while you were on the trail, we watched you study, and then we watched you learn by doing. First you were only a candidate, building yourself physically, mentally, and morally. And then your brother scouts called you a tenderfoot, and they were right. You were indeed a tenderfoot.
But not for long, for soon you reached the next ledge, and there you were greeted by second-class scouts.
Some, like yourself, were stopping to catch their breaths before continuing along the trail. You began to study more, you worked harder, and almost before you knew it, you came to another ledge, the ledge where first-class scouts dwell.
There you found a tempting green meadow by a crystal clear stream, bathed in sun. Here you were tempted to remain, yes. You could have remained there to live in first-class glory, but your ambition stirred you on. We next remember your progress when you became a Star Scout. You found that the trail for first class had been an optical illusion, not as difficult as it had seemed. This spurred you on, and again you climbed further. Now the trail was steeper, now it was less worn. Fewer scouts seemed to be heading in your direction. You looked back and saw the crowds below you. You looked up and and saw few above you. And with the same determination in which you started your climb, you continued on your trail.
Soon it was the badge of Life Scout, a heart badge that was placed on your uniform. You will never forget the thoughts in your heart. It has been experienced by most scouts on reaching the edge of life. Now I am close to Eagle. I will carry on. The trail became tougher but more interesting. The original simple principles, the scout oath and the law, now had a fuller meaning. Your understanding of them was greater.
We'll pretend it's there.
Alright, yes, we watched your character unfold and you became Manny. We have watched your leadership ability expand into a valuable asset. We have watched your mind develop and your wisdom increase. We have watched all of these things in you. And now that you are at the threshold of your goal, we welcome you, for you have done your climbing in true scout-like manner to reach the heights of the eagle.
Now, would Connor Fitzpatrick and Chris Lang please come forward?
This is the Eagle Charge. Gotta be front and center. With the honor to give you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations continue to be one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. And